And, you know, when we always give so much credit to shot callers, it's the rest of the team as well. It's all about feeding information and the efficiency which with the rest of the team can communicate as well. So definitely credit to both of these squads, actually, especially, you know, Team Dignitas as well, bringing in Helios. Yep. Definitely a strong voice, always has been, as far as the shot calling role goes. Now, in the bans phase, I am definitely looking at Sivir. Whenever I see Team Dignitas, I do, but also Gravity. You know, Altec, 4 out of 5 games he's played Sivir as well. So going to be a contested AD carry between these two. Kalista probably going to be the counterpart there.
So it's interesting, yeah, both these teams with some of their only losses being to Counter Logic Gaming. We know they're pretty strong, and they know that initiating fights and being tenacious has been a very strong thing. Back with old Gravity, they had a lot of success with things like Vi and Fizz and dabbing into the back line. Dignitas having a good sort of front line in the hard engage of KiWiKid worked for them as well. But Sivir off the table, Twisted Fate and Urgot away from Keane. So Dignitas removing multiple engage tools from Gravity. Meanwhile, Gravity pretty much go through the expected bans. You can see the 3 bans, each of them over half the games. Ryze, LeBlanc, and Alistar obviously heavily contested, which does leave up Kalista, though, for Dignitas.
Right, you know, Sivir banned out. Kalista, there's the #1 pick. And Alistar also being banned out. Bottom lane looks pretty strong here for Dignitas. No Alistar, though. Nautilus being locked in. Very aggressive support as well. A lot of kill pressure there. Hard to land the skill shots onto Kalista. As we saw in the last game, though, 1 anchor toss onto Kalista mid-jump can earn you a victory.
It's like the worst feeling in the world. You end up jumping into a skill shot, and you can't stop yourself anymore. You've already left the ground. It's not like the old platformers where you can move in midair and like turn back around.
It's like playing fiddlesticks after you start channeling your ult already.
At least you can stop that one. Done that maybe once or twice, flashed earlier, something like that. But Gragas does come through, so Move gets a chance to play one of the more popular and common junglers. He hasn't actually played it yet this split, but he gets the Gragas. We can see how he does so far. Alistar off the table, the Nautilus gets picked up, a lot of smart things there. Now Dignitas to round out some more of their lineup. Neither Gamsu nor Shiphtur took a lot of bans, so most of what they want is up.
I'm actually very excited to see Move on a champion, not Jarvan, you know, one of these actual power pick junglers, to see what he can do with it, because he's been forced onto later round picks as far as picking up jungle champions for Gravity. We'll see what he can do versus the Rek'Sai. Of course, the 2 premier early game junglers using Cinder Hulk for each of them, so they both scale fairly well to the late game.
And what's interesting to me is, the reason I said wow, is Altec literally insta-locked Tristana on his pick right there. We might see another mid rumble, but yeah, you were talking to me actually during the last game about how you've seen Tristana into Kalista being a specific matchup pick.
Yeah, exactly. They were talking a lot about, you know, her turret pushing power, but in China specifically, did see it a couple times directly into Kalista. So I'm really excited to see if they do actually get matched up into the same lane, how they will play it out. Because, you know, there are some play patterns that you can use with Tristana. Her being more bursty now, you can actually, her damage is also front loaded. You can take advantage of that with Kalista, who has to wait for the Ren stacks to stack up to be able to win a trade.
And especially the fact that Buster Shot can knock her out of Rend activation range can make those really some one-sided trades here.
Yeah, as far as duo lanes to go up against, though, Kalista Annie, really, really painful. So if they want to go with the Tristana Nautilus into it, this is definitely going to be the test, because that is a very, very high kill pressure duo matchup.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a fun matchup as well, just because both these duo lanes are known for strong laning phases. Altec and FuFuu versus CoreJJ and KiWiKid. These guys definitely able to take wins in the 2-on-2. Dignitas have locked in their whole lineup, and it is pretty much around the Shiphtur Azir. It's a big tank wall, a lot of engage, and a huge amount of damage coming up from the Azir mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, nothing, you know, surprising from Shiphtur. It's pretty much been Azir or Kog'Maw from him. Likes to be long range damage. Very, very relevant in the late game. High DPS from him. And that's going to pair really well with Kalista. So they have dual threats there. Gravity, though, all around. They've got that top lane carry potential from Hauntzer, who has really stepped up for the team. We pretty much never mentioned him last split, but he's actually been a really big part in this turnaround for Gravity. We mentioned all the new players they brought in, but the existing players are stepping up as well.
So we're going to see Jarvan after all. This may be top lane So it's either top lane Gragas or it's mid lane Rumble or mid lane Jarvan.
Keane is on the team, so it's probably a mid lane Rumble, I'm thinking.
All right.
Because that's what they've done before. They can't keep switching it around. Keane will play whatever he wants. Maybe he'll do Jarvan mid. Maybe he'll do Gragas mid.
Yeah.
But
I mean, as we think about the matchups, like we see a lot of Aurelia into Azir. It's something that's come up fairly recently. Faker did it. We also saw a similar matchup. Alex Ich of Misfits qualified for the North American Challenger Series, playing Aurelia into Ziggs. And now we might see this mid lane Jarvan in AD burst backline reach against a I want to be safe siege mid. Jarvan ulti will bypass the Azir ulti, so we can actually jump over the would-be knockback to get onto the back line, and it is going to be, after we've passed the lock-in time, top Rumble, mid lane Jarvan for Keane.
Keane never fails to disappoint. We'll see if the execution backs up the theoretical matchup, though, because assassinating Azir is not quite so easy. You have to all in. You have to be wary of jungle pressure. You have to have vision to make a play like that. But if you can pull it off, they do have Gragas, one of the premier early game junglers, to try and match Rek'Sai.
It's going to be a whole bunch of fun. Either way, load up to Twitter and let us know who you think will come out ahead of this game. Tweet at LOL Esports. Use either hashtag DIGWin or hashtag GVWin, and let us know who you think is going to be taking this one down. Dignitas have a chance to tie back for first place. And if Gravity wins, they get within one game of that spot, one game behind Team Liquid. It's going to be a wonderful match.
All right, so Shiphtur opting for the barrier, of course, when facing melee assassin mid lane. Gonna try and help himself not get completely popped in one combo. Jarvan does have a very, very potent early combo, especially with his passive, one slap percentage health damage.
Yeah, so we'll see if Helios then can be around to counter gank and keep that lane afloat, because Bunny and FuFuu says that adding Helios to Dignitas is a good step in fixing some of the team's issues.
Dignitas, I think they have some communication problems and shot calling problems, and I know Helios was a huge help on Winterfox for those aspects, and especially because he can speak Korean, it'll help Gamsu and CoreJJ a lot of times too, so I think they fit in really well.
Yeah, I mean, he came over in the first game in the North American LCS versus TSM. They take a victory.
Yeah.
So very, very good debut for Helios on Team Dignitas. See if he can back it up in game number 2.
Minions have spawned.
I think it's definitely likely. So as we get ourselves into level 1, I love what Keane does with League of Legends. I just want to read something out. So I'm gonna list champions, and you tell me which lane this is in. Fizz, Malphite, Twisted Fate, Urgot, Rumble. What lane does this man play? Mid lane. Oh, and Jarvan.
Which of those champions?
Yeah, all of those champions in sequential order.
Those are 5 champions. This is not a good test here, Phreak. The clarity is not there. Helios starting in his jungle, though. He's got Annie to back him up. Help screen for him because the lane swap was called. We'll see how CoreJJ and KiWiKid do in the 2 versus 2 that we were looking for.
And we see pretty much default starts all around. Gamsu does take down the Wolf Camp, no big surprise, then runs his way down to the base. TP's in with an extra ward, so Gamsu shouldn't be easily gankable. Will have a small experience lead over Hauntzer. Both junglers started top side, so level 3 will bring them likely to the bottom side of the map.
Early level 2 from Keane as well. Going to try and shove Shiphtur in. The way that Jarvan is able to shove versus a range matchup is trying to land your Q poke through the minion wave, but also hit the champion. Because there is not fall off for the Jarvan Q. The only problem is, as I said, this is a risky matchup. If you're using your Q constantly to shove the lane and poke your enemy champion, you do not have the built-in escape, and you will have to rely on your summoner spells to get you out.
I'm actually surprised that Shiphtur went Doran's Ring in the matchup as well. It just feels like if you have the sustain to make sure you don't get chunked out by Jarvan, you're guaranteed to survive the matchup, as Keane did here in the melee versus ranged. But so far, he's just happy to chug flask charges and keep the push going. We'll see if he ends up pulling some more attention from Helios, as the Rek'Sai has just hit level 3, recalled back for a Trailblazer, and is heading back across the map.
All right, focus on the Scuttle Crab here for move. no surprise there. This has been a hallmark of this guy ever since he came to the North American LCS. His #1 priority has been clearly vision control for his team. The other very telling aspect of his game has been that he tries very, very hard to give away the last hits for his ganks to his solo laners. Right here, I feel like just because the movement that Shiphtur took up topside, he thought that he was seen. Decides to stick around, cancel his recall there for a second. But anytime we mention all these junglers that like to go for early ganks, go for the level 3 move, we also have to mention the drawbacks of it, which are, of course, the hard farm route. If you're the opponent here, Helios does get a small lead and an extra level here as he's back out on the field quicker, didn't wait around in the brush for the gank.
Just rushing the experience here, and it's going to be a definitely high-level Rek'Sai. Could be a very big threat. I think he does need some tank stats to be relevant in this game. There's a whole bunch of frontline damage that could come through. Sit and Rumble equalizers could make Rek'Sai's life pretty short here. But we are on just the smallest of gold leads for Dignitas overall. Now the top lane matchup has equaled out. The very first levels, it was CoreJJ and KiWiKid getting a really early push in. Now that the lane is equalized, we can see the matchup happen, but Helios is already here for a counter gank if something happens.
Yeah, I actually really like the matchup because early on, the Kalista passive with Annie, if you both land auto attacks, gives you a huge amount of presence in the lane. The range advantage for these two, they should be able to bully early, use that percentage damage. But as Tristana gets to level up, she can go for the all-ins with Nautilus because her damage is so front-loaded. Just pop your E on them, rapid fire a couple attacks, and then back off before Kalista has stacked up enough Ren stacks to actually equalize the damage.
And just like the Alistar matchup I talked about earlier, Nautilus needs his actual skills to do anything in the first place. Like, level 1 Annie is basically already Annie. She charged her pass with the fountain, presses W. Surprise, I stun people. I'm still the same champion. Nautilus needs the hook, might even need the shield, and always learns E in the first place. So equalizes out, we'll see it play out from here. Yeah,
both duo lanes playing fairly cautiously around jungle pressure, I feel like, right now. Because the early stages of the game, obviously, no ward coverage. Here we do have our first jungler interaction. As we can see, Move gets the barrel off, but Helios is slightly ahead as far as the camps are concerned because he spent a little bit less time waiting in the brush.
Seeing this bot lane fight instead there. Yeah, Helios half a level ahead right now, 5 versus 4.5. Gamsu misses the cannon, oh no!
Teleport back up for him now, though. So teleports have been equalized for the solo side laners.
And then we haven't seen them pressured much, even though the initial ward timed out from Gamsu and Hauntzer is just shoving into the lane over and over again. He hasn't really gotten any wards from Move, and we haven't seen Helios even try to show up.
I really feel like, the way that it's going is fairly good for Gravity. There's a little bit of harass, but CoreJJ does not commit with KiWiKid there. Just because Jarvan's been able to get to the early pickaxe here for extra damage for the burst combo to time with his level 6. Here's the collapse from Helios. Defensive ward from Gravity will see it, but they get zoned out from a bunch of minions. The Kalista Annie not level 6, so the tower dive much less potent.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be strong at all. I mean, 555 is maybe not that much damage. KiWiKid taking a whole bunch of pain, and he's on the wrong side of the turret. That's first blood over to Altec, and now they go in, and Helios going to be the second to die. Over greedy dive by Dignitas.
So usually you respect an Annie Kalista dive like no other duo lane, but they're not level 6. They don't have the ability to juggle aggro on the turret. They don't have the extra CC, and that was a really rushed decision. Whoever is making the calls, maybe they felt forced into it because Helios had the timing to make it up there and they were trying to make the move with that minion wave, but that was a very reckless call. They did not have any information on Move's whereabouts. Teleports were both up, as we said. So interesting early blunder there from Dignitas, and Gravity get a very nice early lead for themselves. First blood and an extra kill.
And Hauntzer buys an early home guard boots off of this. I guess he sees, well, my TP's down, Gamsu didn't teleport. He's got to kind of play around the fact that maybe a dragon fight happens sometime in the next 4 minutes that he can't react to. Home guards may help that, but just an interesting investment all the same. will still go towards haunting guys a bit later. We'll see if that manifests into much. Gamsu with the TP advantage. The lanes all swap to the bot lane, and maybe Dignitas tries for round 2 with a 4v3.
I feel like this is the opportunity for Altec to go all in with that Trist combo we were looking for and try and chunk CoreJJ, because this is the recall. He does not have lifesteal yet, so he'll have to chug through his potions. If Trist can get off that couple of rapid fire auto attacks into an ult, that's a huge amount of harass that will stick. Oof. But he's just going to shove the wave, use that AoE damage to get towards the turret, and as Jet said last game, utilize Tristana's turret pushing power. Maybe they will get some damage while the minion wave is shoved up.
Yeah, it's likely to be very strong here. Pink ward goes down, and it's awkward though because Gravity, despite having this lead and the fact that they have the bottom lane push advantage, they actually can't reliably go for Dragon. Normally a team like this, you'd see them probably pressure that objective down, but again, that TP disadvantage slows them down for the next 3 minutes here. Also talking about Tristana, because we don't see her very much, I'm tracking skill orders there. Piglet had gone 4 points into explosive shot and then max rapid fire, so it was like 5-1, 4-2 was the ability numbers. Right here, Altec's only got 2 points in explosive shot and is already maxing rapid fire. So they're prioritizing the attack speed by like level 12 or so, and even earlier in this case.
What's also interesting is Gravity's attempt. Oh, I don't know if he meant to do that on the minion, but he got the explosion damage. And this is going to be a much easier dive than we saw.
Funny, FuFuu has aggro and he's getting exploded. The anti-stun plus the turret damage will not quite take him down. 2 kills come through for Gravity off a quick dive.
Drink your potions, kids. Funny FuFuu able to survive there. And they'll get the turret on top of it just because of how quickly Trist can blow them up. The other thing that you mentioned, about the Dragon, yes, they're not able to get it right now because of the teleport disadvantage, but it's not really that big of a deal for this squad. Their main way of winning the game isn't really Dragon control. They've got great siege. They've got Rumble, Gragas, and Tristana all great at turrets. Dragon control would be optimal.
Yeah.
But it doesn't hurt them too much not to grab it.
It seemed to work really well. We didn't see Gamsu TP in to stop the bot lane dive. So the fight for the turret went totally okay. We didn't see Shiphtur really show up either, and it seems like Keane being able to bully out this mid lane matchup from level 1. I mean, Shiphtur missed 5 CS in the first 2 waves because of the turret push here, and then we still had Keane roam out of the lane first. Tiamat's done, going towards maybe Ravenous Hydra. Dive on the top lane is going to go in towards Hauntzer, but they're getting Dragon for it. And not the best equalizer.
No, that was a very bad equalizer. Definitely a misclick. Probably was trying to flash that way and clicked his R on accident, I'm going to say. But regardless, definite misplay there.
Oh, that wasn't, though.
Taking KiWiKid out of harm's way, saving him from Keane. Yeah, we haven't seen Keane go all in on Shiphtur for the burst. He just has been straight up winning the Jarvan Azir matchup with the threat of the all in.
Beautiful to watch. So Dignitas do manage to equalize, though. They manage to capitalize the top lane turret after the kill as well, making that dive absolutely worth it in the first place. But we're sitting on an 1,801 Dragon lead right now for Gravity. I want to see now where they put the rest of their members. Dragon off the map, TPs don't matter as much. Where does the Tristana siege go?
Well, looks like mid lane so far. He's going to be able to take the Raptor camp fairly quickly. Due to his explosion. And they're just going to leave the Jarvan split pushing. Honestly, Keane is a very, very quick split pusher. Rushing the Tiamat for extra burst for his combo also means he can smash a wave. There's so much wave control with this Gravity squad. They've got, the solo lane Tiamat builder with a Tristana that they've been able to shift over towards mid lane.
And speaking of shifting over towards mid lane, Helios going to get knocked in by the explosive cask, and then he's going to try to flash into a tunnel away as best he can, and oh my gosh, Helios might just get out. Just kidding. Flash and the body slam means Hauntzer gets the kill with the equalizer. Gravity now 5-1.
Gravity just seems so calm and collected this game. Waiting for the first move from Dignitas, turning it around on them, and then taking that lead, pushing it air into the mid game, and very decisive moves from them. Both moves from Gravity result in kills as well as turret pressure. This is also going to culminate in a blue steal
Man, they even had it timed. Move already had the barrel rolled out before that one. There's the Smite W attack. Gravity just absolutely in control here, and we're seeing Gravity the way we expect. Their macro game sense
Nautilus.
very strong.
Gamsu does not have flash, by the way. So going to be a rough exit for him. No ultimate from Hauntzer, though, as we saw.
Okay, so just some damage dealt. Gamsu pops a short cooldown ultimate, walks away. That's going to be fine. As you called it, Altec will be stationed in the mid lane here, and of course he's safe 1v1 against Shiphtur, so him just kind of chilling and clearing back and forth is totally okay, and it allows Bunny, FuFuu, and Keane to run around the map, go be playmakers, and Altec can keep this wave totally safe.
Yeah, definitely scary to have that full AD Jarvan Hydra completed running around the map. Your bottom lane are very susceptible to getting 100 to 0 killed. Kalista, if you can land the EQ, which can be difficult,
yeah,
she's dead because your ultimate is guaranteed and your Tiamat activation is guaranteed. Your single attack with the auto attack passive from Jarvan is enough to 100% a Kalista before Bloodthirster's completed.
Yep.
She doesn't have the shield.
Actually,
See if Hauntzer can do it though.
I actually played a Jarvan versus Kalista matchup in Team Builder. I fought against a master tier top laner who played Kalista. I won because you just one-shot people.
Builder.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, right? But yeah, you just one-shot the kid. It's miserable. Basically, you just play around the hop because once they've picked the direction and start moving, they can't change it.
Yeah.
So if you're quick enough, you're like, he hop left, go EQ, and they have to flash or they die. And it's just the short time window you have to have your guaranteed skill shots land. Move will grab the scuttler. Helios now going to fight him around. Shiphtur tries to show up, cannot quite land the knockup though, and Move gets out.
You know, it's actually funny. We didn't mention it during Champion Select, but Gamsu is also the other solo laner who likes to play the full AD Jarvan to run around and pop AD carries early on.
That's true.
So it was even a takeaway from Gamsu. Here goes Altec into the turret though.
Altec does summon her healed. Merlanomicon cuts it in half, but 300 health on Tristana. Not a very happy out this time. Flash the way to...
Count to 10, see if he can get...
15, I think, now.
Well, keep counting then.
9, 10, 11.
All right, he flashed.
Oh, he's dead. So it's CoreJJ though. Hauntzer takes him out. Both AD carries fall off the map. Solo laners take him out, 1 for 1. Dignitas finally get back on the board a bit more. Nice stun to Bunny. FuFuu moves around Helios to land the knockup. Anchor toss out of the wall. Good explosive cast to buy a bit more time, but Gamsu is on the chase. Dignitas really wants this, but so does Keane. The dunk comes through. Down goes Annie. Helios about to say goodbye, Os. Hauntzer gets another kill. Who flashed?
Everybody's flashing, Phreak. Gamsu's already used it, so he can't get out with it.
Gamsu's in the front. Not doing a whole lot of damage, though. Shiphtur's kind of alone at this point. CoreJJ stuck in base. No fight possible for Dignitas. I do not know a Gamsu by the TP into this one. Nothing gained for him. Another 2-0 for Gravity.
Ooh, yeah, the mid game going swimmingly for Team Gravity. Another display of the power of that mid-game full AD Jarvan there from Keane jumping over the wall to turn this around. So there's the stun. They try and get, 3 members under the turret. Maybe they can focus Bunny. But Bunny still had flash this entire time, by the way. He never even uses it. There's the combo. We talked about the vulnerability of the bottom lane members to a solo lane full AD assassin, and we see it there. Gamsu going to try and flash over, but at this point they've lost too many members. They do not have an AD carry there, so Sand Soldiers by themselves not going to be able to fend off the entire team, or not going to be able to kill anyone.
All right, so it's getting worse and worse for Team Dignitas here, who sit almost 5,000 gold behind as Gravity continues to find some great fights. Hauntzer, we keep talking about it, but he's 4-1-0 on this Rumble. A huge carry force for the team, setting up basically everyone. Looks like we're going to see Black Cleaver coming next for Keane, I'm guessing, and this AD Jarvan definitely in a good spot this game.
Well, now he's level 11, so that's
Yeah.
going to add extra Cataclysm damage to his combo. Definitely in a good spot, as you say. He's also, looks like he's going to go for that Black Cleaver next, which is great because the full combo from Jarvan, if it doesn't 100% you, it is going to shred all of... Do they really want to do that? I feel like if you've already used the Kalista ultimate, if KiWiKid does not have his stun already charged up, somebody's going to get one shot.
And looks like Dignitas chickens out after all, so nothing gained in this one. But if FuFuu able to anchor toss away, looks like he's totally safe to play the ward game here. Is not able to be punished. Keane feels comfortable as well here, and so Dignitas, the question is, how do you get yourselves back into the game where you're so far behind, aside from just waiting for Azir to power up?
I'm going to say they need to make a flash play from KiWiKid. That's what Dignitas always turn to in their times of need. They really need a big play from Annie. And this is the type of character that KiWiKid loves because it's a game-changing character. He can turn the tides of an entire game by landing a multi-man stun. They would have to take the opportunity when they have numbers advantage as well, though, because they're so far behind. They need more than just an AoE stun. They also need to have the numbers advantage in that scenario.
Well, we'll see if they can get the rotations to make that one happen. Right now, no teleport for Hauntzer, so he can't join the fight, and maybe someone mispositions and that opportunity opens up for the blue team here. Meanwhile, Gravity have continued to make some very good choices. They've controlled dragons. They've got 2 of these so far. Altec is still on push duty in the mid lane, and it making very slow progress, but that turret's losing health every once in a while. But otherwise, playing a pretty slow game. The thing is, I don't know if Gravity... Oh, there's the... What?
Not the play I was looking for.
What?
He sees... saw a ghost. Hello?
What? Maybe that was a recall that we missed. It might have been, actually.
No pause, so... User error?
Well, I'm going to go back and see.
All right.
The recall.
I'll take over the play-by-play then. Keane goes for KiWiKid.
All
right. Taking the baby away from another baby. Pretty easy Kalista ultimate there.
Yeah, he was half a second away from getting Altec. Altec was recalling right.
Okay. So Altec was there.
Unfortunately, full whiff on this one. Hauntzer now getting caught out by Gamsu. They do find something to catch, and if only KiWiKid had a stun, maybe they would have killed him. But of course, he wasn't in range for anyway. Mid lane just keeps getting cleared back and forth, and we are seeing Dignitas try to make those plays. It's how they won against TSM. They finally just found the engages that would work for them, and it did close the game out. But this time around, Gravity have been very safe in their movements, or safe enough at least.
It is going to be really scary. We keep talking about the solo laners and how strong this Rumble is right now, how strong this Jarvan is right now, but Altec on Tristana has the Infinity Edge plus Zeal and Zerker Greaves, extra crit with the Brawler Gloves just to the Bloodthirster. So that is a huge DPS discrepancy between AD carries. And he has the burst potential as well to add on to anybody who gets caught by Jarvan. So,
I mean, no one's really even built armor. Gamsu's got a Visage and a makings of a Righteous Glory. Helios just has Ninja Tabby. No one's going to survive Tristana damage, especially when she's this far ahead in items. So you're absolutely right. Level 13, kind of the biggest she's ever going to spike in this game, and she's got items to back it up. Now CoreJJ going to get body slam flashed. Explosive Cask actually gets him away from the team, and now he's going to be safe under his turret as Gamsu shows up to buy a bit of time. Maybe a bit overzealous as Bunny FuFuu will get killed for his hubris.
Or Dignitas can wait for a misplay from Gravity. They do get a kill for it. Did have to burn a teleport and still lost the turret mid, so they're still bleeding, but they did get something back there. That was a good flash from CoreJJ. To reposition himself for that Gragas ultimate to survive and get under the turret. But Flash no longer available for Kalista. May be able to punish that.
Well, looks like as Bunny FuFuu respawns, nothing's going to get punished by much. A couple CS lost the mid lane, but really, oh, Keane again goes in on a Helios EQ Hydra into auto attack, and out goes the fish out of water.
All right, Hauntzer gonna get some deep wards for himself so he can continue pushing in on the Maokai. Zonya's completed for him as well, so he has more team fighting potential. Teleport discrepancy as well means that not only does he have a strong team fight presence when he teleports in, but he can continue to shove Gamsu up here and create the numbers advantage for Gravity rather than for Dignitas. See if he gets caught though, because KiWiKid does have Moby Boots. He could take the long way around behind.
Yeah, no distortion yet for him though, so it may be a long road upwards. KiWiKid is going to be building towards, I'm guessing, Righteous Glory off the double Ruby Crystal. So we'll add more boost speed to the arsenal, but not the one that reduces the flash cooldown.
All right, so Gravity going to play the game fairly cautiously. Just control that neutral objective. You know, all the outer turrets are down. They don't really feel like pressing. They could pull a split push and try and utilize Tristana's, you know, turret damage, but they can just control the dragon. As you said, they've already got 2, so although it wasn't, you know, rushed dragon and won't be extremely quick, they can easily take the consecutive ones and, you know, force Dignitas into increasingly worse position.
Yeah, if they do it on cooldown the rest of the game, they get Dragon 5 at 36 minutes, and that's a decent clip for an endgame push, and probably by then they can chance a Baron as well. So if Gravity wants to play it super slow, that can work for them, although they are pretty far ahead right now, making me think that they should be taking moderate risks in this mid-game. They have been taking Dragons with that, and we've been seeing them look for dives and pushes, but we'll see if they can get any more than 3 turrets in the near future.
10 seconds. So we'll say each Dragon respawn 6 minutes, 10 seconds.
Okay.
For
So 36-30 for the...
That's how long it took them to finish it. All right, here goes the call, though. They got the Dragon, and they're going to move down. This should be a kill, as Dignitas are very far from collapsing.
They take the turret down first, and now Gamsu alone gets Helios to help him out, but it's still a 2v3. Buster Shot gets away from Helios, and Rampage for Hauntzer as he does knock down the top laner after Gamsu flashed out. Not much of a need for that, and Gravity off that have the chance to push farther.
All right, melt the turret, swing on up to the next secondary turret, and Gravity just going to collect basically everything on the map worth money.
Yeah, they put some jungle away. They're going to push out the mid lane. Blue buff has respawned, allowing that to go easily over to Keane. They can set up Baron as well. Looks like that's where many of the members of the team are headed. One last recall for Move. He's got to have a little bit of money worth spending here.
Shiphtur going to try and hold on to one piece of Dignitas territory, set up the Azir turret. But there's honestly not much they can do with that outpost. They could try and get down the mid lane outer turret, but it's going to be very, very difficult. Altec's already completed Static Shiv. That Tristana wave clear is more than enough.
Yeah, seems like it. It was Static Shiv. That definitely helps, of course. Mid lane pushed in one more time. Move's recall was heading towards Locket, plus getting the upgraded sweeper here, so vision control can get even better for the Gravity squad. They're actually sitting, even Altec got an upgraded sweeper here. They are dead set on crushing as many wards as possible. Double sight stone, 4 sweepers, upgraded warding totem for the top laner.
I have to say, this game just bodes so well for this split, this Gravity's, new Gravity's team's summer split here. I mean, we were looking for consistency from them. The game yesterday, it's very hard. Not only is it very hard for Bunny to step into the shot calling role very quickly, but as Meteos and many others have echoed, shot calling from an early deficit like they encountered after that one 4-on-4 skirmish in the jungle is really, really difficult. This game, they've been slow-paced, methodical, and executed mostly on pace. So good showing here from Gravity.
And you got to ask, you know, both these teams, of course, are on trial. Gravity, again, playing a good control game by and large and growing a slow lead, taking objectives on cooldown. Dignitas, the question for them is how well they play from behind. They did just fine against Team Solo Mid yesterday, but Gravity has yet to make the same kinds of errors that let Dignitas in. We know that they are tenacious if something does happen. And so with all the flashes and all the cooldowns up except for Gamsu's, maybe we see that hyphy move.
All right, well, we're looking at KiWiKid then. He's the one to make it happen. He has Distortion upgrade, so he can burn this flash and have the cooldown reduced. They definitely need all 5 members ready for him to make the play, though, because Annie, with so much move speed, and her flash can get out ahead of the rest of the team. Everybody needs to be on the same page, ready to capitalize on her stun. So try and make up for this giant gold deficit that they're working with.
Yeah. What actually concerns me a bit about this sort of Annie combo is there's not a lot of damage on the lineup that isn't just Azir. Because CoreJJ is so far behind, he's still trying to scale up into items.
True.
You stun someone and then you do like a third of their health. And then Azir wants to keep attacking, but the stun's gone. And someone disengages really cleanly. So it will, I think, require a pretty big numbers lead for Dignitas to have those fights happen.
They do have 2 pure tanks on their team.
Yeah. Leaf Sooner Hulk does some damage, but much less as of like 5.8 or so. Yep. And we'll see. Gravity still playing the wave clear game. They're playing mostly around Keane. They've got decent wards to let him split push. There's the ping. They know Annie's coming over, so he gets some damage. Walks back out. Hauntzer's going to home guard down the mid lane.
I mean, it's so easy for Gravity. They have 2 extremely strong solo laners. Just continue the split push. Their AD carry is a god of wave clear, Tristana in the mid lane. And they should just be able to keep up the 1-3-1. And as we said, continue to drain the map of resources.
Yeah.
Take all neutral objectives.
And with all the wards they can put down, they eventually create this area of blackout around Baron. And right now they think they've done it. There's the brush bait. They say, hey, Dignitas, remember these Barons? These things that have haunted you for most of your life? Well, you want to check into this one? Because we might be around. Helios actually not burrowed, but blue trinket used by CoreJJ. There's a 90 or 2 minute cooldown. And they're going to clear away a Spectre. And then this ward from KiWiKid will get swept. And once again, Gravity can play the exact same game, this time without all the cooldowns left.
Well, with the Scrying Orb used, they could actually transition into actually taking down the Baron right now. But they do not feel like they have sufficient deep wards to see the approach. I feel like that was maybe a missed opportunity.
Yeah, KiWiKid had to recall. He was out of Sightstone charges. That was his last ward.
Yeah, if you see the Scrying Orb get used like that and no movement from the Dignitas squad, that may be an opportunity. Even though this game's going so well for Gravity, you always want to look back at even the wins and see where there are moments where you could have executed better, because you're going to face stiffer and stiffer competition. Of course, Gravity's goal, as is pretty much every North American LCS team, is to get to the top, not just stay in the league.
Gravity right now with a win here would put themselves within 1 game of the top, and what a great turnaround that would be, where they're serious contenders for the throne. But so far, it's been pretty good for Gravity. Dragon will go down. That is number 4. That one, I think, took less than 10 seconds.
Yes.
So it's getting faster.
All right. That puts us on track for that 36-minute number 5 then. And that is so much easier. The risk around taking that is almost nothing for Gravity.
Yeah.
So compared to Baron, they can have a very easy path. They can just wait that 6-minute out and just take that.
They're almost more likely to slow down because of it. Now that it's so close away, they're like, look, if nothing happens for 6 minutes, we practically win the game.
Yeah.
So let's hope nothing happens. Inertia might be a good thing for Gravity, though.
All right, well, let's see if they can, if Dignitas can shake things up and force some action. They do not want to wait around.
Yeah, they might need to accelerate this.
Yeah. If they continue to wait around, it's just going to be fighting Dragon 5 and Baroned up Gravity. Rek'Sai ultimate, maybe this is the time. Negative.
Nope. Farm alarm. Headed back to the jungle.
Move is not exactly the champion they want to catch out and burst down.
They'd have a hard time with that one. He's going towards Locket. Not done yet, so at least that's a saving grace for Dignitas, but he's pretty much close to that combined here. I think he's actually within like 50 gold of it.
They're forcing something here. Some action will take place because they've called Gamsu up. They're no longer answering Hauntzer's split push.
Nice.
He's going back to get home guard boost for his teleport, actually.
And Dignitas got a little antsy. Gamsu popped the Righteous Glory, did not find the engage on a move.
Look how many wards there are possible for Hauntzer to teleport in with home guard.
Oh, man. Right, but do you want to flank with Rumble? He has Zhonya's after all, but, oh, they catch some damage to Gamsu. He, again, is the tankiest member on this Dignitas lineup. The rest of the team will converge. 2 in the mid lane, 3 in this river here.
Move once a piece. All right, he's getting bored.
He wants to move. It's in his name.
Well, look how they've been able to gain position on the mid lane here.
Really nice. That's going to go down fast. Oh, they can't quite stay. KiWiKid gets the stun. Can they kill off Altec? Bunny FuFuu down a little bit of health, but not enough damage comes through. There's just no burst on this lineup.
The duo tanks have to collapse immediately after that Annie stun. It's so late now.
Oh man, the bounce house into the back line. Down goes Annie. There's going to be more soon. Shiphtur falls. CoreJJ also going to drop out. And it's a 4-0. Last man alive is Gamsu. Altec does not die. Turret goes down. Ace for Gravity in 32 minutes, and they're going to push into the base.
All right, they should be able to get the inhibitor off that fairly easily as well. Gravity finally crack open Dignitas base. See if they go for the end.
I think they can. You got 20 seconds on most of the damage-dealing members. In comes Bunny FuFuu to tank it up. Keane is gonna die. Ruins his fantasy score, his first and only death of the game. The base did, but Dignitas could not. Pie in the sky, 3-1 for Gravity. Are gonna try to close down onto the Nexus, but hold on. Dignitas respawn in time, and the lack of Keane is actually enough for the base to not fall down. And Rek'Sai is on the flank. Gamsu has TP, he pops it. Can they catch any of Gravity on the way out? This is how Dignitas beat TSM, just some kind of catch, but no one's in range to stun Gravity.
Maokai's headed around, does have Righteous Glory ready. There it is.
It gets popped. The great barrel by move. The slow last 2 seconds. Equalizer just says no, thank you. Wow.
Well,
all right.
Dignitas are able to pass them on the inside track, but that's not what they were looking for. No kills achieved. Outer turret still stands, and Gravity finds safety.
Hauntzer's chilling. Now he's like very alone, by the way, but nothing picked up here. Gravity are trying to get Dragon 5 on the field. Dignitas trying to stop that.
Yeah, I mean, they can get a Scuttle Crab, and maybe they can get Hauntzer.
Oh, yeah. No ulti. He's got flash, but he's surrounded. I don't see how he gets away from this one.
Save it.
Oh, CoreJJ.
Oh, he didn't get the cannon. He was trying to get that cannon minion before he died.
Oh, wow. Helios waiting in the wings in case there's a counter gank. There is not, because Baron's happening on the other side of the map. Gravity happy to take what they can with everyone else on the wrong side of the map. That's going to be a clean take, and you got a minute 20 till Baron. That's going to be easy.
Yeah, Dragon number 5, pretty close, but they've got Baron buff. They're shoving in for the win here. Dignitas straight down Gravity straight down mid lane.
Well, Hauntzer has teleport, so 18 seconds till it's 5 people, 4 versus 5, just to take the Nexus. Running forward, Shiphtur summons a turret, but that doesn't keep the Nexus alive. Shiphtur gets killed off by Altec, but it's a 4 versus 4. Hauntzer gonna respawn in 2 seconds from now. They get TP in afterwards. Dignitas still wanting to fight. Here's the TP in. It'll be a 5v4 with Baron buff in Gravity's favor. They don't want to do battle. They will knock down Helios on the backside. There's the hook on a Gamsu trying to escape through some minions. Fate's call keeps KiWiKid alive, but here they go. Down goes Gamsu, 4-17, and Gravity will move on to a tie for second place with this win.
Oof, what a clean win from Gravity as well. Probably one of the, probably the most impressive one, at least this split, maybe of their entire time in the LCS. This is their first year. Still a fairly new team with some very big changes in the offseason as well. And definitely one of the teams that's been able to handle roster swaps with the smoothest transition.
Yeah, once again, you got to see this team play to their strengths. Their weaknesses generally not abused. They did well in lanes. They knocked some turrets down. They kept the gold lead and grew it slowly over time and said, Dragon's ours, Dragon's ours, Dragon's ours, Dragon's ours. Oh, we can out-rotate you for the mid lane, and got so much out of it.
Yeah, they definitely could have been a little bit more aggressive when they had that much control, but they're very happy to take on this win. They got the early kills this time handed to them rather than having to work with that early deficit from 5 minutes or so. The top lane move from Dignitas, diving at level 5, not able to come back from it.
And that just seems so reckless to me. I don't know if that was a Helios call saying I think we can do this in the 3v2 because we're up a person, but it did not work out the way they wanted. We see so many games happening where an early tower dive just does not do what you want it to. We saw, you talked about that with Gravity versus CLG, went on the way of CLG very easily. We saw that Enemy Esports against Team Liquid. Enemy Esports threw away 3 kills on a tower dive. Dignitas does the same thing here. I do like aggressive teams, but it feels like Team Impulse is the only team that actually does it with the right amount of risk assessment, where it actually comes out positive more often than not.
Yep. Gonna need to work on that skill. Pretty much all teams. It's very difficult one to come by.
Yeah. Okay, so as these teams do develop their skills, though, we have Gravity and Dignitas both now at 4-2. They are in a tie for second place. We will have CLG playing the next match. They're at 4-1 right now. Maybe they join the tie, or maybe they join Team Liquid in first place here.
Right. If you know, we could have Team Liquid standing alone in first place the end of the day today. If CLG are not able to take down enemy.
Yeah, and then instead we have the gigantic tie for second place.
Then
like
we would have
practically half the league here, and that'll be a fun one. Either way, for more, we're going to send it down to Riv, who's with Gravity's coach.